So welcome to today's quick webinar. I'm Sarah Strickty and I work at the Children's Cabinet here in Reno. We only have 15 minutes, so I'm going to talk fast. I'm going to give you a high-level overview, and if you have questions, I'll stay on at the end. My contact info is on the screen now, and it will be again at the end in case you want to reach out to me later. We're recording this session, and we'll make the recording available on our website. For those who don't know, the Children's Cabinet is a 501c3 nonprofit family resource center that provides a number of programs serving families throughout the state. You can visit childrenscabinet.org to explore all of our programs. Some highlights that your business or employees or even your customers might find useful. NevadaChildcare.org is a one-stop shop for families looking for quality childcare. We have a childcare substitute teacher program. The new Employer Childcare Development Project helps businesses assess and address their employees' childcare needs. Publications from the Cabinet share information about anything from the demographics and economics of early childhood education in our state to how to find quality childcare. And of course, the Children's Cabinet has several opportunities for your employees to volunteer and donate to support families in our community. We're here today to talk about one particular program called Vroom. The goal with this program is to generate nothing less than a brain-building movement around kids age 0 to 5, to transform the way we think about early learning, especially in those crucial first 5 years of life, and empower parents, teachers, and others to play a role in helping kids get ready for school and life. We're talking to you today because we want you to be part of this movement. So I've just told you a little bit about why we're here today, how we got here. What else are we going to cover today? We're going to talk a little bit about the science behind brain building. We're going to talk about how we fit in, what's our role. We'll see how Vroom works as a simple and free, but also a really powerful tool. And I'll share with you some of the ways we can and have partnered with other organizations. Brain science is at the heart of this movement, and despite how simple Vroom is, it's rooted in research from scientists in fields like neuroscience, psychology, and early childhood development. Through that research, we've learned that babies are wired to learn from day one. Millions of neural pathways connecting regions of the brain are formed every second of a young child's life. That means trillions of those connections are formed in the first 5 years before a child is ever in kindergarten. We can't emphasize enough how powerful those first 5 years are. Fortunately, the research tells us that rather than telling caregivers what they should do, we can focus on what caregivers are already doing right. Vroom takes the evidence of how brains develop and it distills it down to 3 core scientific principles, focusing on the behavior of the adults in children's lives. So things we can do and things that we can change. First, core scientific principle. Science shows us that children who are positively bonded to the adults in their lives manage stress and challenges better, and they have a stronger foundation for learning. Second core scientific principle. Like a game of ping pong, interactions that go back and forth between an adult and a child, brain scans show us that children are building new neural connections, literally building the architecture of the brain during a game of peekaboo or a little song or a conversation. Third and final core scientific principle, executive function. It's about using the skills that rely on our ability to focus, to reflect, and to solve problems. Now, bear with me for a second, because if nothing else, I want you to take away this concept and reflect on it later. Executive function is like air traffic control for the brain. It refers to a set of skills that we use all the time when we have to pay attention, when we have to pause and reflect before we act, or in other words, skills we use when we can't go on autopilot. We exercise our executive function by playing games, by solving puzzles. As adults, we do that. Kids do it too. In daycare or preschool, kids play games like Simon Says or Red Light, Green Light. They sing songs, they do call and response type activities. All of these things teach us to improve our focus and self-control and learn how to solve problems even when things are changing. And if understanding numeracy, letter recognition, colors, and shapes are things that we measure when kids start school, those things are really only the tip of the iceberg. And they only happen when kids are able to have that focus and self-control, those skills that set the foundation for learning. In a typically developing brain, executive function emerges in the preschool years. What we do before, during, and after the preschool years has a lot to do with how well these skills develop. Strong executive function skills are linked to long-term success in school, in relationships, in physical and mental health, even financial well-being, and the avoidance of substance abuse. So pretty powerful, powerful impact. The good news is that the world gives us lots of opportunities to strengthen bonds, to have back and forth interactions, and to practice executive function with kids. All people in a community can play a role in how children grow up. If your business serves families or employs parents and grandparents, you can play a role in shaping the resilient workforce of tomorrow by transforming the way you interact with children and parents and by sharing things like Vroom. When you show support for your employees, your clients, your customers, you strengthen your role, you strengthen your business. So I want to show you a testimonial from a parent to give you a sense of the lasting impression you can make when you share Vroom and its messages with parents. So let's watch this quick, 1-minute video together.
My name is Janetta Robinson. When I was pregnant, here Vroom was introduced to me. And somebody looked to me and told me I have what it takes. And I was like, I have what it takes to be a parent? I don't have to buy, you're not trying to have me buy anything. She was like, nope. And she just had my self-esteem on 10. So I was like, oh, this is cool. And what really got me is that there's science behind it. A lot of times you learn about something you're doing with your child and you don't know what it's doing, you just know it's great. But knowing when I'm doing this with my child, it gives me a chance to help his brain develop. Vroom makes me feel very powerful. And that's where I get really passionate about it. I run into so many families and they feel like, oh, this is not gonna work for me. I can't pay for a monthly subscription. You can have little to nothing and do this and be able to grow as a parent. You could be outside in the rain standing, but you missed your bus. You're having a Vroom moment with the rain, with your child counting raindrops. Everybody can use this, no matter what's going on.
I love that video. And if you've ever been the parent of a young child, you probably know how Janetta feels. I really connect to when she talks about sharing this with other parents and the feeling that a parent gets when someone pays attention and acknowledges their child and their parenting. I'm talking to you today because I know how simple it is for you to be able to have that moment of connection. Your involvement means people will see Vroom and its empowering messaging in lots of different places, but the primary Vroom tool that people use is the free Vroom app. So completely free, no ads, no upgrades. It's designed to promote that bonding, that back and forth interaction, developing self-control, persistence, and curiosity. These are just some screenshots from the app. These little activities and a little background for each one is the primary purpose of the app. There's some ability to browse those activities, to celebrate progress, but the tips are available in lots of different forms, including a physical deck of cards that you can hand out, printable PDFs, of course, through the app, through the Vroom by Text service. Tips are available in 17 or 18 different languages. Each one is written to be age appropriate, doesn't require a lot of time or any money to complete. So you can see, if you can just look at the screen and see that, it's a simple little activity, a nudge to get that parent to engage with their child for just a few minutes. And the activities are always going to be paired with the brainy background, which is a bite-sized science snippet of what brain building is going on behind the scenes. So what does a Vroom moment look like? Let's watch a quick video to see a Vroom tip in action. Again, this is about 1 minute. We can see how the message is directed toward the parents, but we can also see a role for the business owner in this video too. So let's watch this one together.
Running errands with your child may take a little longer, but shopping is a great opportunity to build your child's brain. As you take your child through the market, point to familiar products.
You see them? Yeah. 1, 2, 3 yellow boxes.
Talk about colors and numbers and follow your child's interests to help connect what they know with what's on the shelf.
Do you want to pay?
Your child's brain is making connections between what they point at and see and the words you're using. helping to boost their communication skills.
Gracias. Igualmente.
Vroom, make any moment a brain-building moment.
So I do love that video, especially showing that back and forth moment that the business owner is engaging in, right? He's playing along. And I just think that's a beautiful example of how, whether or not you choose to partner with this program, all of us can create and extend little brain building moments. We can all be a part of balancing out some of the challenges that we know families are facing, and we can all be a part of an environment where kids are really thriving. So what are we really asking from you? First and foremost, we want to empower adults in Nevada with an understanding of what truly helps children not only get ready for school, but to thrive in life. So not just the tip of the iceberg, but everything that comes below it, right? We hope that you'll help us share these messages with families. We can partner with you in lots of ways. We can customize what that looks like. I'm going to give you a link in just a second that lists some free partnership ideas. But I want to emphasize that we can customize a partnership that suits you. I'm going to walk through some of these ideas as time permits, and maybe you'll have questions or new ideas after that. So here comes this link in the chat box that you can click on. We will publish this link later on so that you can come back to it. So here's some of these ideas. The brain building movement reminds us that playing with our children is a big part of how their brains grow. The Children's Cabinet Parent Engagement Team hosts family fun events like game nights, story times, and more, designed for fun, but also to help incorporate brain building concepts into families' everyday moments. We try to share activities that can be replicated at home, and we describe to parents how these activities help their young children prepare for school. Community education and professional development classes are core to our department's work here at the Children's Cabinet. We, along with our partners, can customize a free, fun training that gives your staff or your board some insight into Vroom and how we can all play a role in children's healthy development. If you have employees or clients who are parents, this can be a really nice and free way to acknowledge the needs of families. The trainings can also be kind of transformative and even change the way adults manage their own behavior and how they interact with each other. So you can see those classes if you're interested on our website. There's a link to all of the classes that are coming up. And here are some of the examples of free materials we can offer. This may be the easiest way for you to partner with us. We have these free handouts printed in both English and Spanish. A couple of these items show sample activities. Here's that deck of cards with sample Vroom tips that you can hand out. Some of these highlight the importance of brain building. Some show how to download the app or sign up for the text service. There are a couple of different posters you can hang up. We make these customized one-pagers that we can use as handouts or displays, using them often to match up a Vroom tip with some other content, so we can customize things like that. Newsletters and social media are a great way to share brain building tips. Partners sometimes choose to share the Vroom tip of the week on social media or on a display board or in a newsletter. We have created social media tiles that you can post and share, and we can customize a display or a campaign for you. The Children's Cabinet teams attend community events. We set up pop-up activities at local schools and businesses. This is a super easy way to partner with the brain building movement. Doesn't require a lot of effort on your part. Our team can share information about services available for families. We can demonstrate simple brain building activities at the same time. No matter how you decide to partner with us, we really want to recognize that partnership. We highlight partners in our Brain Builders newsletter and our blog, on social media, on our website. We have these small window clings that you can put on your business's window to signify that you're partnering with us. And let me close by saying, Vroom isn't a requirement for the brain building movement, but it's a tool, it's a shortcut. Just being here today might change the way you interact with a child, and even a small nudge or a prompt can start to impact the way a parent interacts with their child on a day-to-day basis. The cumulative effect of that impact is substantial for our entire community in the long run. So we're grateful to have Vroom as a super accessible way to build this movement. Vroom reaches parents and caregivers starting with word of mouth. So we talk to teachers, caregivers, maybe it's a neighbor, grandparent, or other parent, or home visitor, social worker, or it could be the server at a restaurant, the cashier, or the aisles of a grocery store, or even the walls of a family bathroom in your business. Or maybe it's directly from you. My contact info is on the screen. I'll stay on here in case you have questions that I can answer. We've recorded this. We'll post a link on our webpage so people can see this later, childrenscabinet.org/Vroom. We'll also post the link to that online form that you can fill out if you want to explore partnership, but you can always reach out to me directly. I'm happy to answer your questions. And I will end there and just sort of sit tight here for a minute and see if anybody has any questions that I can answer.
Question.
Sure.
Can we include some of these materials that you were kind of going over when we do our HR onboarding for new staff?
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. So some businesses or childcare providers are doing this when they sort of onboard new families, right? People are joining a program. So it's a great idea to have these available when you're sharing benefits and onboarding new staff for sure. So we'd love to supply those for you. How about any other questions I can answer?
Is there a benefit to organizing training with our staff when in regards to the Vroom materials?
Yeah, there is. I mean, I always say that Vroom is pretty easy to pick up and understand. So it's not required that you have any training in order to utilize or share Vroom, but we certainly offer that. And the benefit, it just helps people understand a little bit more about the brain science. It typically helps folks gain some confidence in their ability to share the information and sort of evangelize. So absolutely, we do offer that, and there is a benefit, but not required.
And talking about those free materials that you offer, is there a limit to how many that we can request?
No, we have a lot of these materials to share. Some quantities vary. You know, what we have in inventory might vary from time to time, but we try to keep pretty well stocked up so that we can provide you with enough pieces that you can share freely. So really no limit. Any other questions from the crowd?
Thinking about the Vroom materials, is it possible to have a display created for our waiting areas?
Yes, that's something that we do in a couple of different ways. Our team is creating displays for lots of different purposes. So we can have a team come out and customize something for you, work with you to add to displays that you already have. Absolutely, we can work with you and create some custom pieces or just a custom display. I think if that's all the questions, I'm going to shut it down for now, and we'll post this up as a recording that people can look at later. And of course, we can share this information anytime with anybody who wants to learn more. We're here as a resource. So I look forward to hearing from folks and working with some new partners. So take care, and we'll talk soon. Thanks again for spending your lunchtime with me.